start again. Hare Krishna. Start with the invocation mantras. Om Ajnanam Timrandasya Jnananjala Shalakaya Chakshurunvitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadapi Swapadantikam. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenapandu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Prishtbhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatrupascha Kripa Sandhuba Evicha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasati Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So welcome everyone for this class of Ishopanishad, Mantra 17 and Mantra 18. Before we proceed, let's pay obeisances to Radha Krishna and to our founder Acharya, Srila Prabhupada. I seek your blessings. Grateful to Her Grace Prem Kushori Mataji for giving this opportunity. And I hope that I can do some justice. Okay. So, in Mantra 15 and 18, this is the last section of Ishopanishad. And these are the prayer for the revelation of the Lord's spiritual form. And we will learn today the mercy at the time of death. Mantra 15 has explained that one must also understand Krishna's relationship with the spiritual potency, the Brahma Jyoti, in order to achieve realization of him. And Mantra 16 continues the prayer of Mantra 15 for the Lord to reveal his spiritual form. Now, after that, in Mantra 17, the prayer emphasizes understanding Krishna at the time of death. In the last verse, Mantra 18, is the concluding prayer of the devotee who desires to achieve Krishna's mercy. So let's take the mantra. Vayu
Not share. You have to share the screen.
Sorry, Mataji.
The screen is not shared, Prabhuji. We are not able to see.
Is it? Are you able to see? Good, you pointed out. Are you able to see the screen now?
Yes, yes.
Okay, wonderful. So, this is our Shloka 17. I'll recite. Vayur anilam amritam adedam bhashmantam sariram om krito smara kritam smara krito smara kritam smara. I repeat. Vayur anilam amritam adedam bhashmantam shariram om krito smara kritam smara krito smara kritam smara. Can I request any one of you to see the translation, please?
Yes. Can I read?
Sure, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Translation by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai.
Yeah.
Let this temporary body be burned to ashes, and let the air of life be merged with the totality of air. Now, O my Lord, please remember all my sacrifices, and because you are the ultimate beneficiary, please remember all that I have done for you.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Mataji. So, this is the penultimate verse of Shri Ishopanishad, Mantra 17. This mantra is a very intense prayer, perhaps the most ultimate verse of the Ishopanishad so far. Here, the devotees seek help from the Supreme Lord for passing through this perilous journey of life and returning back to him. The tone becomes more serious and longing. The material world is filled with so much danger, and the prayer expresses that wish to return back to Supreme. If you look at the mantra and the translation here, basically, it's the main points. It's the air in the body, that merges with the total reservoir of air, and the body becomes ashes. And the prayer is, oh my Lord, please remember all that I have done for you, because you are the ultimate beneficiary. Please remember my sacrifice and the service I have done for you. At this point, two distinct thoughts arise for us when we see prayers like this. First, there is a rethinking of emotion. As we approach death, what happens? Generally, when we think of death, we might be frightened. But here, the prayer is intense, a sober acceptance, and a request to the Lord to remember the devotional service rendered. See, spirituality and religion are not just casual pursuits or social cosmetics for our public life. They are the utmost importance in determining our ultimate post-mortem destiny. What will happen to us after death depends on how we have related with God in this life and what we have done. There is gravity here. You understand gravity? Let the body fall. Let everything end. But let me return to you, O Lord. So please remember what I have done with devotion to you. This is a fervent call for mercy at the time of death. Well, at the same time, it is not a pure devotional call, like we see in the prayers of Kunti Mata or Vritasura. When Kunti Mata, she was saying, let me eternally serve you, regardless of circumstances. Instead, here, the devotee here is pleading, please remember what I have done for you, O Lord, and allow me to come back. The fact that a person is so consciously preparing for death and thinking about it with such seriousness, it itself very instructive. We really think about death in a serious way. And if we do, it is usually fleeting. Perhaps when we know someone who dies, or we hear about it in the news. And after that, life then draws a wheel of illusion back all over us again. We forget our mortality once again. The very fact that someone is preparing for death and reflecting on what will happen to them afterward is acknowledging it's not in my hands, it's in the hands of the Supreme, and it's a very elevated realization. Please, and in the end of the class, I would request all of you to share your own realizations as well. In the purport, Srila Prabhupada explains that this material body is a foreign dress that must be ultimately be given up. All of us must give us this body, but the best way to do is not by merging into Brahman, but by surrendering to the Lord. This alone is the ideal. At the time of death, whatever last thought is, that determines our next destination. Well, Krishna never forgets the service that has been offered to him. Therefore, we should always endeavor to serve him at the final moment, and our prayer should be, please, Lord, remember what I have done for you. Unless until we have reached the stage of a pure devotee where we simply say, whichever stage you put me in, I am fine. In this shloka, it's basically saying, reminding Lord for all the devotional services that we have done to him. And Krishna's mercy is always available through devotional service. Bhakti is the process in which we surrender and prepare for the most critical moment, that is death. So let us look at the first point Srila Prabhupada makes. He says, the material body is a foreign dress that must be given up. Now, people have three distinct attitudes towards the body, according to the path of karma, enjoyment, jnana, renunciation, and bhakti, devotion. So in karma, people romanticize the body and see it as a source of great pleasure. People strive to have good-looking bodies, desire to enjoy bodily pleasures themselves or through other bodies. For such people, body is like a well of pleasure from which one can endlessly draw enjoyment. However, a little experience in this world shows that this concept is not sustainable. The body capacity for pleasure is limited, like a sponge soaked in water. You press the sponge and water oozes out of that at first, and after some time, nothing is left. And if you keep on pressing, nothing is left. Similarly, the body's ability to give us pleasure is not permanent or unlimited. Even philosophically, with deeper understanding, one can see that the body is ultimately a trap. You understand? Our senses will eventually drag us down to suffering and perpetuate our illusion of being the body. Not only does the body make us forget our true spiritual identity, but it also fills us with materialistic desires that keeps us bound in this world. It's one thing to be blind, but it's another thing entirely to be blind to our blindness. Is this something interesting? If I know I am blind, I am careful and I might seek some guidance. But if I am unaware of my blindness, I will wander around recklessly and hurt myself further. The body's illusion is like making us blind and also making us ignorant of our own blindness. Let's talk about the Gyan path, the path of renunciation. Here, the body is seen extremely negativity as something to be renounced and rejected. But in the path of bhakti, we see a balanced approach. The body is not to be romanticized, not simply rejected. Instead, body should be utilized for devotional service. Whatever facilities the Lord has given us, whatever, including the body, mind, senses, should be employed in serving Him. We see this attitude exemplified by great devotees in scriptures. For instance, Amrish Maharaj plays with his mind, words, hand, legs, all parts of his body to be used in Krishna's service. Similarly, devotional activities such as chanting, hearing, bowing down, offering prayers, serving to the Lord are all performed within the body. This is why it's so important to take care of this body, as Srila Prabhupada also instructed his disciples, take care of this temple. He cautioned against neglecting one's health, explaining that if we do not take care of ourselves, our ability to serve Krishna may be hampered in the future. But we should not identify with the body and become attached to bodily pleasure. But at the same time, we must take care of it as a valuable vehicle for devotional service. So, you may ask, if advanced devotees reject body so strongly in their statements, does it mean we should do the same? Well, scripture sometimes contains statements that seem extreme in their rejection of the body, but these are meant to counteract our natural tendency to romanticize the body. The right attitude is neither to glorify nor hate the body, but to properly utilize it. So, in summary for this first part, in karma enjoyment, the body is overvalued. In jnana, renunciation, the body is undervalued. In bhakti, the body is properly valued and used in the service of the Lord. Whatever resources Krishna has given us, we should use them in His service. Like if I have this computer, I'm using it to give a class, using it for Krishna's service. If you have a vehicle, use it in the service for the temple. Direct your body similarly. And understanding this as a temporary vehicle, a foreign dress. I love that metaphor of Srila Prabhupada, and which is distinct from our eternal spiritual identity. So let's talk about the another point. So why are we attached to the body? Why does this desire to enjoy and identify with the body come from? Any guesses? Why are we attached to this body? Where does the desire to enjoy and identify with the body come from? Okay. Yes, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Because, yeah. We are attached to this body because first thing is we are forgetful of our true spiritual nature.
No. Yeah.
So we feel that I am the body.
Oh, wonderful. Yeah. The forgetful nature. You're absolutely spot on, Mataji. This desire is not caused by the body. The desire is actually a property of the soul. So, everyone wants to expand their knowledge and enjoy happiness. Even animals demonstrate this curiosity and urge for pleasure. But matter itself, the physical matter, does not experience pleasure of knowledge. So when you taste a sweet, it is you, the soul, who experiences the sweetness, not the tongue or the material matter itself. The pleasure-seeking nature comes from the soul, which is by constitution eternal, full of knowledge, bliss, and Satyachit Ananda. Matter is dead, and it cannot experience bliss. The body is then only an external address. We are dressed for our desires. Amazing point. We are dressed by and for our desires. Whatever desires we possess, we act upon them in this life. And accordingly, we achieve a body in the next life suited for the fulfillment of those desires. If a person develops a strong desire for animalistic activities such as meat eating, they may get a body of an animal in the next life. The soul is dressed for and by its desires. So if you are reflecting on this, helps bring back our mind from its natural tendency to constantly romanticize the body. Modern society that we live in especially North America that I live in, so glamorizes bodily pleasure and appearance, but scriptural contemplation from our Bharatvarsha, it pulls back the mind back towards the spiritual reality. So the best use is the body is in the bhakti. Okay. The true way to give the body is to relinquish the attachment to sensual and bodily pleasures. Only when the subtle body, the field of our desire, is purified, we are no longer desiring material enjoyment, and one truly transcend body identification and become ready for liberation. Shankaracharya ji describes how even in the physical body falters, like hair falling, limbs weakening, teeth breaking, still the mind retains attachments. The body will give us up, but very rarely do we willingly give up the attachment of the body. And as long as these attachments remain, we must continue the cycle of birth and death, taking new bodies in according to our desires. So the purpose of the spiritual life is to purify the subtle body, the mind, the desires. And when the subtle body is pure, it merges the subtle elements at the time of the death. The soul is free to return in the spiritual world. That is our genuine goal of bhakti. So the real art of dying is to give up the attachment to enjoying the body while we are still alive by engaging in devotional service to Krishna. So we have this 9 process of devotional service. Sri Prabhupada, our Prahlad Maharaj said, Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu Smaranam Pada Sevanam Archanam Vandanam Dasyam Sakhyam Atma Nivedanam. And we have these 9 processes. In this 9 process of devotional service, can help us remain constantly in touch with Lord. In this way, in the end of this life, it will be easy for us to remember the Lord. And but not just one of them, one can achieve the highest perfection. If you can help me understand, from hearing, who was the one who achieved the perfection? Your screens are off. I hope you are listening. You are hearing. So by hearing, it was Maharaj Parikshit. Chanting or glorifying the Lord, it was Sukadeva Goswami. Remembering was Prahlad Maharaj. Serving the lotus feet, Goddess Lakshmi achieved perfection. Worshipping the Lord, Prithu Maharaj. Offering prayers, Akrura. Serving the Lord, Hanuman. And making friends with the Lord, it was Arjuna. And surrendering everything, one said to the Lord, what was Bali Maharaj. Please remember this. We might ask you now. So what is the perfection of life? Anyone? Hare Krishna. Your videos are off, your mics are off. Okay. Hare Krishna, are you all there? I continue. I hope you are listening. So, basically, in summary, Shira Ishopina's 17th mantra reminds us of the gravity of the life's final exam, passing from this material body and seeking shelter in the Lord. Regardless of our background or limitations, Krishna is always willing to help us. He looks beyond mistakes, sees our sincerity, and reciprocates with his mercy. Our most important preparation is to cultivate the habit of seeking Krishna as our true shelter. May we serve, live, pray in such a way that when the time comes for us to leave this body, we can honestly say, "Oh Lord, please remember my devotion and accept me in your shelter." This was the, class for the Shloka 17. And I'm sure you are there. If you are, if you can say about the 9 processes of devotional service, you all know it. With this, I conclude for this and I shared the slides for Shloka 18. Hare Krishna. So Shloka 18, I'm trying to share the slides. Please be with me. I share the slides for the. Are you able to see the slides of Shloka 18? Any response? Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Anvay Mataji? Not yet. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Are you able to see the slides, Mataji?
Yes, yes, Prabhu.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you so much. So we are now at the shloka 18. This is the last shloka of Isha Upanishad. I recite the shloka. Agneya supata rave asman Vishwani deva vayunani vidvan Jujudhe yasma jihurana mayeno Bhuyishtam te nama yukitam videma. Can anyone say the translation here? Hare Krishna. Some participation, if I can request.
Yes, Prabhu,
Can
I'll read. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay.
Sure, Mataji.
Translation. O my Lord, as powerful as fire, O omnipotent one, now I offer you all obeisances, falling on the ground at your feet. O my Lord, please lead me on the right path to reach you. And since you know all that I have done in the past, please free me from the reactions to my past sins so that there will be no hindrance to my progress.
Hari Bol. Thank you so much, Rupa Mataji. So we have come to the conclusion of Isha Upanishad study. In this section, this is one of the 4 prayers, clearly asks us to go back to, to the form of the impersonal effulgence, away from and to the personal Supreme Lord, followed by the prayers asking for removal of obstacles on devotional path. And this last mantra is also a similar prayer. Our Lord is glorified with various epithets. He's addressed as powerful as fire. Just as a fire can burn anything, the prayer asks us that he burns all the impurities within the heart. Kindly lead me is a plea, not just for oneself, but on behalf of all living beings, asking to be led to the right path toward the Lord. The Lord knows all our action, and devotee therefore prays that obstacles to be removed and often repeated obeisances again and again and again before the Lord. It says, "O Lord, like fire, you know my actions. Kindly lead me to the right path, remove obstacles, and offer my respectful obeisances to you." In the purport, what Srila Prabhupada says, Lord, as powerful as fire, O omnipotent one, I offer you all obeisances, and please lead me to the right path to reach you. And since you know that I have done in the past, please free me from the reactions to my sins, so that there is no hindrance to my progress. So this prayer is not just for the maintenance in this world. Although the Lord may help here, he ultimately wants us to take the devotee back to him. And this mantra expresses that evolved devotional aspiration. Many prayers seek necessities in this world. But here, devotee says, "Oh Lord, I want to come back to you. Ho gaya mera. Enough. Please remove the obstacles from this path," and reflecting a spiritually advanced mood. And the Lord is addressed here as fire because he can burn anything to ashes, including the sins of a surrendered soul. Yet when practicing the spiritual life, past reactions return to cause misery. And misery manifests in 2 ways. External problems like sickness, loss of employment, social troubles, forced relocation, I've lived in so many different countries. And sometimes internal problems like lust, anger, greed, envy, pride, and illusion. So this sinful reaction thus appear as physical, external, and psychological, internal difficulties. While internal issues often are unseen until they manifest outwardly in behavior. We bhakti practitioners, we feel feel solitary in struggle, alone. But everyone is in the boat of material existence, is hit by the waves of conditioning. And those waves shake all those who are aboard. When passions erupt into action, they appear as slips and falls. What is a slip? A slip is a near fall with recovery, while a fall is a complete collapse onto the ground. Such slips and falls happen when past conditioning takes control, or rather when we permit it to do so, because the present choice remains one's own responsibility. Blaming conditioning is like blaming gravity for a ship sinking. Gravity pulls on every boat, but the careful management prevents disaster. So the immediate cause is negligence, not gravity. If there is a hole in the boat and lets the water in, the boat sinks. So responsibility lies with the one who caused or neglected the hole, not with the gravity, which is universal for all boats. Devotional service is the boat by which we cross the ocean, and established in that boat, one is safe unless one jumps out, drills holes in it, or steers into storms. Jumping out means giving up devotional service. Making holes means privately continuing sinful activities. And steering into storm means going into tempting situations despite awareness of danger. Well, if the storms come uninvited, one should take shelter of Krishna and he protects. But if one seeks storm, the boat can overturn and one falls back in the ocean of conditioning. Therefore, responsibility is essential. Obstacles will come due to past reactions, but protection is found by taking greater shelter of Krishna in practice. The practitioner is not alone. Krishna is present in the form of Chaitya Guru, the spiritual master, and through his representatives, Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra, guiding us how to navigate the storms. The mind can only propose. It cannot impose. It suggests, do this, do that, but ultimately the chooser is the person. So consent is required for conditioning to overpower us. Our activities enacted simply for sense gratification become hindrances on the spiritual path, like waves and holes impeding the forward movement of the boat towards the goal. So there are two ways of overcoming arise. The gradual way of cultivating Brahminical qualities through the austerity, cleanliness, spiritual values, and the quick way of taking shelter in Krishna through devotional service. The gradual path is important, but long and difficult. The quick way relies more on the ground Lord's strength rather than our own, making purification more rapid and effective. It's a Bhagavatam shloka reference here. The metaphor is there given. It says, removing the fog directly is futile. But when the sun rises, the fog disappears. Similarly, devotion to Vishnu dissipates contamination swiftly like sunlight. The quick way is to invoke the presence of the Lord in the heart through bhakti. Either way, the goal is purification and awakening godliness, but reliance on Krishna's potency accelerates the process. Even while advancing, one must be careful. Slips occur if one is inattentive, and the talk outlies a karma, which is devotional service. Then karma, pious duty. Vikarma, sinful action, has three trajectories. Number one, a karma lives swiftly by Krishna's mercy. Karma gradually elevates through regulated action to heavenly outcomes and beyond. And vikarma degrades us to lower states by sinful indulgence. So in our contemporary life that most of us are engaged in, not you, but I am talking about myself, we are engaged in vikarma. Practitioners, I am telling myself, we should avoid contempt and cultivate compassion, aiming to laugh with by elevating others and not laugh at from moral superiority. I find this very, very important and remind this myself time and again. Avoid contempt and cultivate compassion, aiming to laugh with by elevating others and not laugh at from moral superiority. Any moral or professional activity can be spiritualized by service consciousness, considering the home, a temple, and one works as support for serving the Lord and his servants, whatever work you are in. Such contamination is inevitable in the world. Like fire covered by smoke, the practitioner minimizes karma, performs karma consciously, and infuses both with devotional intent. While doing worldly duties, we may be dragged into sin. It happens. Protection comes from steady devotional service, which grants strength, determination, and intelligence to recover. There will be occasional relapses, can happen. But before one comes strong in bhakti. But if the devotee is steadily practicing, such lapses should be overlooked and one is encouraged to continue sincerely. In this shloka, the omnipotence of the Lord is highlighted, not merely in lifting mountains, but in transforming hearts, elevating the low-born, the humbling, and the high-born based on devotion. The power of bhakti, even a person from the lowest background can become exalted because Krishna lifts the person up and one holds the rope of devotional service. Now, if one let go the rope near the top of the well, gravity will still act and one falls. Likewise, even an advanced practitioner falls by neglecting the shelter of bhakti. So what is the Krishna's instruction here? It says, whenever and wherever the mind wanders, bring it back under control. Constant practice is expected and safety lies in continued holding of that rope. Some riding in, just give an example, riding in a lift to Burj Khalifa when I was in Dubai or so, 200th floor, doesn't mean that it removes gravity. If you jump out, one falls. So, staying in the lift of devotion keeps one rising and rising, but letting go brings a fall. So, caution here. So, if a senior falls, inquiry reveals some limb of devotional service was neglected. The issue is not the potency of bhakti, but carelessness in tapping it attentively. Again, Krishna is there with his omnipotence, the Chaitya Guru, ready to deploy it for all, purification and liberation. But we have to turn sincerely and preserve in our practice. But, I can go on. I'm just seeing the time. I have 10 minutes left. So try to conclude. So in the power of bhakti, the person is, maybe very degraded, can become exalted because Krishna lifts the person who is holding firmly to the rope of devotional service. And thinking of Krishna, like we say, even, Krishna also says in the last shloka of Bhagavad Gita, Sar dharman paritachya mamekam sharanam vraja am tvam sarva papebhyo mokshishami mashucha. He said, abandon all forms of religion, just surrender unto me, and I shall deliver to you from all selfish reactions. Then he emphasizes, do not fear. Do not fear. And then he takes charge of us. He takes fully charge of the surrendered souls. We are nearing the end here. So, thinking of Krishna, serving, loving, remembering him lifts us, providing strength to continue the path despite inner and outer challenges. It is a battle against anarthas, our unwanted habits. The Lord assists the devotee who sincerely strives, cleanses the heart, and guiding practical steps forward. Most of us practitioners, are talking about myself, we oscillate between struggle and defeat, struggle and success, especially after giving up gross violations. Moving forward depends on nourishment in devotion. I was hearing Mahatma Das Prabhu. He has got his t-shirt. He says, tolerate happiness. That was amazing. You tolerate, you seek Krishna's help when you are in trouble. But when you are happy, you need to tolerate happiness as well. Remain equipoised. Continue in the path of devotion. Don't think you are Ishvara for that particular time or that particular phase of life. So as long as your devotional nourishment continues, upward movement continues. If the nourishment stops, even strong intentions falter under the mind persuasions. Therefore, the lesson here is never give up in spiritual life. Opportunity to practice devotions are always present because Krishna is always present in the heart. Conclusion. The final instruction is this: never lose hope, never give up, and never think you are beyond redemption. You have to keep chanting, keep serving, keep associating with devotees, and in due course, Krishna will lift you up. The boat is ready, the rope is there, the Lord is waiting. Your only duty is to hold on. Hold on. This Sri Ishu Upanishad, I've been reading through it now. I find it a very, very powerful guide towards spiritual life. It teaches me harmony with the God, vision of the soul, and path to liberation. The last 4 mantras are the prayers, and the mantra 18 is the perfect culmination, a humble plea for guidance, purification, and return to the Lord. So may we all learn to chant this prayer from the heart, and may Krishna fulfill our desire to serve him. So far, we have covered the journey from ignorance to knowledge, from materialism to devotion, from confusion to clarity. The path is clear. Hold on to the rope of bhakti, avoid the holes, and sail under the Lord's protection. Thank you so much for your participation, your intention, and for all your devotion. You all continue to inspire me a lot. Anvaya Mataji, Rupa Mataji, thank you for staying. Really appreciate your patience and your tolerance of bearing me. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Very nice class, Prabhuji. You explained all the concepts very nicely.
Thank you. Thank you so much. In the end, I was like full of I was introspecting. I said, wow, because there is always a fight going on in my mind. Should I pursue big time in my career, or should I pursue big time in my spiritual advancement? Always, always. And then Krishna guides me. You know, he sends me something like this. Prem Kusharam Mataji, our Siksha Guru, gave me this lesson class. Go prepare for this. Wow, I got the answers from Krishna directly. Amazing, amazing ways of Krishna.
Yes.
In case you have certain realizations, Shiro Ishopnis is amazing. Please share your realizations so that I can also learn from you. Rupa Mataji, Anvaya Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, wonderful class. Thank you.
Oh, Shiva Prabhu is also there. Shiva Srinath Prabhu. Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Prabhuji, if you want to stop the recording, you have to make me the host. I'll stop the live stream.
Okay, I'll make you the host again. Okay. I'll make the host Mataji.